Hi, 7th and 8th grade art class and drawing class. You guys are going to be doing the same project for lesson 2. I thought I'd make a step-by-step video for both of you, for both of your classes. So please also make sure you follow along on the Google slide. I hope you guys are doing great. I miss all of you. This is so awful and weird. The whole online learning thing's been a bit of a learning curve for me. And these videos, I'm hoping to get better at it. So you will be seeing more videos. I feel like that's going to be the best way for me to give you instruction on the expectations for the upcoming project. So for lesson 2, you guys are going to be creating a Zentangle city. You're going to need a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. If you have copy paper, sketchbook paper, if you want to do this on larger paper, that's fine. The Zentangles do take kind of a lot of time. It's kind of tedious. So if you want to do it on the smaller sheet, it's totally fine. So you're going to be designing a city, again, on 8.5 by 11 paper. You're going to need a pencil, a ruler, and a Sharpie if you have one. If you don't have a Sharpie, you can use regular black marker, or if you don't have any markers, you could even just use colored pencil. And if all else fails, you don't have any colored pencil, you can use pencil for the Zentangles and all the patterns. That's totally fine. So, all right, I'm going to do step-by-step instructions, and I can't wait to see all of your awesome Zentangle cities. Oh, one more thing, color. We are going to be adding color to these at the end, and you'll have an option on how you want to add color. So as we move through this project, if you have colored pencils, watercolor colored pencils, if you have crayon, watercolor paints, marker will sort of work. But again, if you have nothing to add color, I'll talk about an alternative option for you toward the end. All right, hope you're doing well, and please email me if you have any questions. Here we go. Okay, step 1 is you want your paper going horizontally, and you're gonna need a ruler. If you don't have a ruler, just draw a line as straight as you can. You want your line to be approximately 3-ish inches from the bottom of your paper. And you wanna make sure that it's straight, so the bottom of your ruler should be in line with the bottom of your ruler should be in line with the bottom of your paper. And then you're just gonna draw, I'm gonna scoot mine down just a little bit more. You're gonna draw a straight line across with your pencil. Once you have your straight line, I don't know if you can really see mine, it's really light. This is when you're going to begin designing your city buildings. You can be creative and want them to be varying heights, varying widths. Don't get too crazy with them because we're going to be filling in your buildings with pattern. Okay, sorry this is going sideways, but I wanted you to be able to see the whole picture, and for some reason this video likes to crop my photos. So anyway, make sure that your buildings are touching each other and there's no space in between. They're all butted right up next to each other, and they're filling the whole paper across your paper. After you've completed designing your buildings with pencil, then you're going to take a Sharpie or a black colored pencil, or even a black pen will work if you don't have a black marker or Sharpie. And you're going to outline all of your pencil lines, leaving no pencils showing so that it's nice and clean and crisp and black. Okay, sideways picture again. But anyway, after you get it all outlined with black marker or pen or colored pencil, or if you have none of that and you've just got it in pencil, that is a last resort though. I'm really hoping you guys have some sort of black pen or marker. Then you're going to begin adding Zentangle patterns to each one of your buildings. So please reference the Google slide for different Zentangle patterns, what those are and what I'm expecting you to do. You're wanting a nice balance of line work versus filled in solid black work. I want you to be creative. Each building should be a different pattern, so I don't want to see checkerboard 10 times. Please come up with different patterns for each building and be creative. Part of your grade is your creativity. And just color in nice and neat and do your best job. So notice that I've got some patterns that have areas where I filled in sections black, and I have other patterns that are mostly line. So you're really looking for a nice balance between that line work and some sections filled in black. I don't want to see all just stripes throughout. Really come up with some interesting patterns that allows you to fill in some sections black. All right, so once you have finished all of your Zentangle work, all of your fun creative patterns on your buildings, your city buildings, making sure that there's a nice balance of black filled in work versus just line work, then you're ready to add color. And so we are gonna be looking at, so make sure you review your Google slides, the difference between warm colors and cool colors, because you're gonna be using warm colors in your sky and cool colors in your water that is in the foreground of your cityscape. So reviewing warm and cool colors. Again, you have an option on what kind of materials you would like to use to add color. You can use watercolor paints if you have them at home. Marker is fine. Colored pencil, maybe you have crayons. If you have no coloring supplies, hopefully you do, but if you do not, then you can just shade in with pencil, but I want to see a gradual transition of dark to light and then dark to light, or vice versa, but I want to see value. So if you're not going to use color, then at least create some interest with value, a transition of dark to light in your foreground and in your background using pencil. So I'm going to demonstrate how to do that. And again, I cannot wait to see your finished artworks. So I've decided to use colored pencil in my sky for my sunset. I really would recommend colored pencil or crayon for your sky because the buildings are so tight and getting in those crevices, it's kind of tricky if you choose to use watercolor or paint, but if you want to challenge yourself and give it a shot, you can. We're really trying to not get color on our Zentangle buildings. We're just doing color around them in the sky and then in the foreground. So again, in the sky, you're using only warm colors, which are reds, oranges, yellows, and pinks. Make sure that when you're coloring or painting that all of your strokes are going side to side. We don't want vertical strokes because our sky flows side to side. It flows horizontally. So you want all of your strokes going horizontal so that it actually looks like a sky. We're also trying to avoid a perfectly striped sky. So make sure that you're overlapping, you're blending your colors to give it some interest and to make it look like a real sunset. Okay, now I'm ready to add color to my foreground. And I have decided to use watercolor for the foreground. You can use the same materials throughout the whole artwork if you want to do the whole thing in crayon and colored pencil, or the whole thing in marker, or if you want to do a combination of. So I chose to use colored pencils in my sky, and I'm going to use watercolors in my ground or the water that are in front of the buildings. So the ground area has to be in cool colors. So you are only using blues, greens, and purples for your foreground. All right, sideways image of my completed work. Please check out the Google slide for step-by-step instructions, grading criteria, and examples. Can't wait to see your